Let me share my screen. This one. She's called Renata Lucas, and she's from São Paulo, Ribeirão Preto. She now lives in Rio, and her work was always related to not the architecture, but the environment where you are. And she played tricks with someone that is there. So you have to be there to live what she's doing. So this was her in Art Basel. Yeah, this was Art Basel. And everything here rolls. So you could play with the screen. It is a screen, like a textile, and you could roll it around and it goes till you get like a completely wall. Everything on her is like is weird. So this one is at the door of the gallery. So she make it bigger and makes it rolling in itself. She transcends from what exists to weirdness. So she picked up the gallery and she started building walls inside the galleries and doors outside the gallery. So here's the gallery. And you see, like, people keep coming in and out from all the windows, what would be a window, and she transforming it in doors. And when people get in, they only have walls. There was nothing besides walls. It was
fantastic.
She was yeah. You see, and to complete, she brings a wall outside.
Very interesting.
It's very interesting. Her work's very like difficult to. Okay, I'm gonna talk about
Mari, have you ever been in one of her works, like visiting?
Yeah. Let me see if they have here at the end, like a very old work. So
I have already.
So yes.
I have also. Oh no, it's no. Sorry.
This work, I've been in this work. So this work was like, she picked up a street crossing, and she put tapumis on the street crossing. So besides changing all the marks, because people don't have any marks, it changed the way and the noise of the vehicles. This work was very difficult for her to make because for security reasons, you cannot stay there. You cannot be there for like more than a few hours. So she has always to pick and put and pick it up, put it and take it out. It was like really, really difficult. But she's so persistent. And she said, no, I will do that. I will do that. Super slippery for the car as well. It's dangerous for the pathway. So it's like very complicated. But she made it. And after that, she reproduced these ones, I think a few times, but this picture is amazing. I love it. So it's not a box, it's not, she just like this, because here they don't have that. It's a very like rough MDF material, but it's the really, really cheap one, not the beautiful ones that we have here. Yeah. So this one, she picked up a lot of
They are the ones who are always pink.
Always pink, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So this one, she picked up a lot of this marble plate especially for the toilets, and then she put on the floor, on top of the floor. And you could like, oh yeah, this one you could move it. So she covers the floor, and then you could open it and close it.
Like a game.
It was super funny.
Great.
It was super fun. Like if you could open the door for
alçapão. Como se diz alçapão em inglês?
Yeah.
And look the title, Falha. It's very good. Is she?
He was she.
Is
Yeah,
she?
but wow,
Oh, she's
The-
my
the
size.
picture.
She's a small person.
she's super
Ooh
small,
la la.
super small. So this one she picked it up like the grids and like she arrested the car. So it was so funny. So she uses a lot of this like big
What's the name of
big
this one?
stick.
What's the title?
Febre.
A febre.
Yeah, hay fever. And she really puts the car, she really screw on the streets. It's like really, wow, it's a lot of work, you know. It's not fake.
And it's a bit like isn't it a bit like the baskets for rubbish that you have on the street, but as it had melted into the car. Yeah.
It's from, because he used to have loads of that, didn't we?
Yeah.
She uses a lot of these references. Now this is what I remember of you, Isa.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's really good.
wow.
Wow, Isa.
Yeah,
This one
indeed.
is
My
amazing.
God.
Isn't it? She's at the
Great.
wall.
Yeah.
Can it play?
No,
It
No,
would be
it's not for
wonderful.
Just rock. It's rock and roll. Isn't it in a rock?
I think there's a joke about the amount of like robbery that was in Brazil as well at this time. Like you couldn't, all your radios were stolen, so she decided to put it at the wall. And it was in the wall opposite the car,
Makes sense.
like in this wall here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so she
No.
arrests the car and then put the wall here.
Ah,
This one is amazing. I love this. This one, it is, she filmed all the Biennale building. And then when you look at the videos, like security cameras, there are animals like lions, elephants walking in the Biennale. It is so, I mean, you stay hours in front of that waiting for the animals, and there are a lot. It's not difficult, but it's so funny.
It's true animals, true lions and.
No, she didn't put the lions inside the Biennale.
Okay, just the sound.
Video. Yeah, she inserted it. It's like, I don't know how she done it.
I remember this one.
Danny.
I didn't see in local, but I remember when she did it. I followed.
Yeah, because it's amazing.
It's nice.
Yeah, maybe this guy is a collaboration. Is Daniel the name
Yes,
of this?
yeah.
Maybe the technicians.
No,
He's amazing,
another
Daniel.
artist.
Yeah.
That is an artist. They used to live together. At this time, they were living together.
But
He's
Daniel
a very good artist. He had an exhibition in the Hayward Gallery.
But sorry, which one, Daniel or Dionysus?
Daniel.
Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel. Dionys is as well an artist, but he more like visual artist. They're both Danny and Renata. This is another one that was like, oh, she took her like a year to have authorization to do it. If you see, you have two post lamps, one close to the other.
Mm-hmm.
She did that in a whole block, like the whole square block in São Paulo. So you have two lamp posts, one working and the other pretended to work.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, and it's absolutely, this one, she planted another tree. The pictures are not so good in these ones, but because she doubles everything in the whole block. So it was really
What is that, in São Paulo or in Rio?
São Paulo. In São Paulo.
Is it a fake or a regular one?
A fake post? No,
Yes.
she bought it from the mayor, the same company. She had like, it took a month to finish because you have to really excavate and then cement and then blah blah blah. It was really tough.
Wow, amazing the work.
It's amazing. And then in the trees, she does, that's none of them, but she does, you know that the trees, they have the square, and you have the square on the pavements. So instead, then she did another square really close. So they were like the tree and the other tree.
Yeah.
So she doubles everything on the sidewalk, on the pavement. It was.
But it was interesting, Mari. Do you have, you close with her? Do you know with the process, how she have the authorization, how she pay for that, how it is working?
Well, how she paid, I don't know. But she has, how she has the authorization, because she is like fire, and she says, I'm gonna do, and then she goes after how to do it and how to make it and how am I gonna cut and who I have to talk, which paper I have to sign, and until she get it. It's unbelievable. She goes herself. You go like she really, really, really has like this will of doing.
This is great. It's brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant, and that's why she's able to get in a building and like transform the whole facade, or like being the building is all window. Then she may no, like, I'm gonna do doors. And no, you're not. I will do doors. And she makes it's amazing. So all this is she done as well. All this like go for nothing, and at the same time it's a little bit of playing with the same material that is the square. So I'm gonna roll here. You see, this is what she's doing. So she picked up the pavement and dislocated, which were the normal design. So she create another one, and she extend the pavement here.
It's nice, really nice.
Creating a really weird design, because it
It's
looks
interesting this because lots of people take pictures of this kind of things when they are a mistake, isn't it? When you find a mistake, you always find, but she really makes the mistake, isn't it?
Yeah, she looks to destroy the certainty and to bring something else, like, no, don't. Of this one is the wall that you push. You have to push the wall and it turns in itself.
Wow.
Yeah, I love these bicycles. Oh, this one. She built this pyramid. It was on the ground. Her exhibition was on the ground, and it has this library. So she decided to build this pyramid because it's an old building and has all this relation to the, it's not like a thumb, but it's like catacombs or things like that, because it's, I think this was in Paris now, in Alemania, in Germany. And she really went and built this pyramid, like inside on the underground of the building. It is, and all the design and little details, like also this gonna end here, but it's gonna continues on the other, after the other wall. It is, she's so attentive to small things. You can see, like, so there's a lot of places where it happens, and if you pick it up, it in a maquette, like, you know, it's gonna work. It's gonna be a pyramid inside the building.
Oh, wow.
So you have to go, you have to go all the way to the building to figure it out.
Mari, what's her formation?
Crazy.
Is she architect?
Architect.
Well, she's an artist.
She never
She-
did
she-
anything like
No,
No,
she's not an architect.
No.
I
She's-
thought you
but
had
she
said
knows
that
so
she's
much
an
about,
architect.
you know, all these planning permissions and building, isn't it?
Well, I think you start learning from, like, you don't start small. So her first works, and then you start growing, and you start the one that she did in the pavement with the cars, putting the MDF on the streets. That was a huge process of learning. I remember was one of the most like intriguing for her, because it was like the most bureaucratic one. And since that, you start like learning, you start knowing the ways of I think, I mean, of course, like between one and the other, between this and that, there's like 12 years of difference between the first and the so you get better.
Yeah, you know the process, you know how you need to talk.
Yeah,
and,
you get
yeah.
better of things like,
Yeah,
you know, like so people, and you start getting like a little bit of credibility. So people believe that you are able to deliver that what you're planning, because
Yeah.
most of the most of the time, you have, if you have like really big plans and you never done anything big, like no one believes that you can deliver that, because you're gonna face inevitably a lot of trouble on building on the process. It's gonna be different than what you plan.
Yeah.
So this one, she picked up the outside of the building and it turns in like a rotatory door as well, but it's a wall.
She's
So
really good.
she's really brilliant, isn't it? What she's doing.
Wow.
Yeah, so when you rotate and what most impressed me is like that it works, like physically it works. It's not something that it doesn't make sense, like it's, no, it really works. You see, it really works. It really, everyone is fitted, everything is beautiful. You're not gonna fall on you. So this this was great. The popcorn guy that did popcorn and throw in the living room on the meeting room. It was like,
Oh, it's beautiful.
so amazing. It was like a performance from the popcorn guy, but then the popcorn stays there. Of course, the guy is only there. I don't remember how long he was there, but he does and he does, and everything stays there. And so simple at the same time. She deals with things that we are so used to not look at.
Yeah,
Okay.
brilliant.
It is amazing. Let me try to pick it up because this one.
But she worked, do you know, she worked at Louise Estrina for long? For how long? How long is the artist for that?
For a long time. For a long time.
And how old is she? She seems to be young.
51.
51. Oh,
Yeah.
young.
So this is her work. There's most of the work at the windows as well, but I love the I'd like to see if they have like the fountain, because the fountain is so amazing. Oh, so this is
how beautiful this one. Did she used to live in Germany? Because she has quite a lot of works in Germany. Isn't it?
No, she does a lot of residence. She does a lot of fairs, because Luisa take her work around, and she does a lot of like she open calls, but she never lived in Germany. She lived here in London. She lived in Colombia, but she lived in Barcelona. I don't believe she lived in Germany. I know nowadays she's in Rio, but I don't, yeah. Let me see if I found the other one. That's beautiful as well, because this is what you see in the mirror. Okay, this is what is written. So
outside the building, not in the window.
You are the mirror now. You are the mirror. So you are seeing what she wrote. And if you turn around, this is what you see. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because
amazing.
yes, sorry,
Now
but
she managed to calculate the size of the letters that when approaching would be the same.
I have no clue.
Exactly.
We can ask her.
Maybe projecting it like with
she hates to this is the same one. She hates to talk about that, because then it's get complicated, but she hates to talk about what she mean when she was doing the work. That don't mean anything. You look at it and you decided.
It's intriguing. You feel like you start trying to figure what she's trying to say, but it's almost like just the fact that she is making you think the other way. It's already something. It's like a gymnastic, like a dance, making you imagine this. The wall, if the wall turned, if this, it's quite intriguing.
It's definitely a work with space, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
the space, the architecture, the outside, the inside.
And body, né?
Mm.
And the body, yeah.
Yeah.
Demands the body of the visitor to make it happen.
And the funny thing is that she has a really good work in paper. But she, she also, here the tree. Why it's not showing the tree? Because I know why. Because these things, they doesn't show the picture, right? Yeah. It's a pity because the tree is funny. Anyway. But she's really, since it is so powerful. This one is amazing. I tried to show you, but on the screen is you only see small because it's the fountain, and the fountain don't quite match. Like she cut the circumference in half and dislocated it. It's a little bit like the sidewalk, like she twisted, and half is one material, the other half is another material. And the fountain is working.
It's
really amazing.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
It's really amazing.
Yeah.
I think the physical is so powerful. So it is such an experience that I don't know. It got more important than the other one.
Oh, thank you very much for sharing, Maria. I didn't know her.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, and she's so young. I mean, like, she's so young. I thought, like, maybe I bring something that is our generation, and then
for sure.
I think she has so much to say. It's so anyway.
Yeah.
She's very similar to an architecture movement of the 80s called the deconstructivism, that they try to do this a lot. But she focuses a lot more in public space, and they didn't, which is super interesting.
Can you give us some more reference, Josefa, on this movement?
It was a group of architects. They were basically failed architects. They were not doing architecture, and they were all living in New York, and they had contacts with MoMA. And MoMA said to them, okay, we have to make you big. So they made an exhibition, and it was called Deconstructivism. And it was Zaha Hadid, Daniel Libeskind, the one of the Bilbao Guggenheim.
Frank Gehry.
Well, all those that, Frank Gehry, okay, so all of those that make weird shapes, there were like 5. Peter Eisenman was the one that was curating the exhibition, and Peter Eisenman was worried about like the logic of shape and how to deconstruct shape. And all these architects were doing art, they were doing paintings, they were doing sculptures. And they did an exhibition about this, and then these architects became famous, and then they started doing projects, and they started to break the space. So for example, Zaha Hadid, in her own way, she said, I will never make a right angle. So all of her buildings are weird. Frank Gehry worked with layers. So from these models that he would make, he would take them to a hospital. So they would make an MRI scan by layers, and then he would work on these layers in architecture. Daniel Libeskind, he would cut the lines, which is similar to what this artist was doing. So instead of having a straight line, everything would be fragmented. And then he used this to also show the fragmentation interpretation of time and history. So you can see in Berlin many of his works, and the Museum for Jewish, I don't remember exactly the name, but it's like a memorial for Jews in Berlin, a museum. And it has all these break planes, and it's super interesting. And they became famous because of the paintings that they were doing. And then they got a lot of funding for projects, so they did these big private projects, but they never affected public space, like Renata Lucas.
Oh, nice.
But
Thank
it's
Thank you.
interesting.
Yeah, because the thing with public space is that people may notice or not, and that's funny. You don't get like when you go to an exhibition, you prepare yourself, you turn your mindset to go, oh, I'm going to an exhibition, I know I'm gonna see something like work of art. And then in public space, like if you are distracted, you pass by without even noticing.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. And also with like the perception of space, because in architecture, we draw and we plan the same way as they did after the Renaissance. So with one point of view and perspective, and the plans have to be very clear. So then when you encounter in reality something that is different, that tricks your perception, that's something that is different to draw and plan, is really a challenge in architecture. There are many historians who say that the deconstructivists, they are nothing, they don't exist, that is not architecture. So there's this whole other discussion, which is very interesting. But now here it's like from the side of art, not from the side of architecture.
Yeah.
That's great, thanks.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
I would like to know how does this work in terms of like galleries? How do you, if this doesn't fit in a gallery, or how does it work? How do you get the funding for this? How do you show it? How?
So the
Yeah.
public space that she did, it works on the public space. It didn't work in a gallery. She never showed the double posts in the gallery. It was you have to go to the street and she pick it up, like the vernissage was on the block, was like at the sidewalk. It was really cool. So that she didn't pretend to, she does that and then transfer. No, it's there. My work is here. The other ones, like the same with the MDFs, the same, everything that is public. No, there's no way of transport. I think in terms of funding, that is tricky because I know she pays for some part and I know the gallery pays for another part. I cannot tell you what is the percentage of each and the other, but I know she sells she sells the drawings, she sells the physical work, and that's found. And I know that the gallery found because they believe, like, if these very conceptual and very non-materialistic works end up making her drawings worth more. So for the gallery, it's always good. It's always a good deal.
And photographs.
I mean, the gallery has to believe. It's a bet.
But then the works disappear, the MDF.
Some of them, yes, some of them disappear. I mean,
I think most
unless
of them.
it is a what?
The curtain could be sold to a museum. I think the curtain.
No, the curtain is very new. The curtain is very new, and it's not public. It was made for the
museum,
Brazil Fair, or one of these fairs. So the curtain is easily sold.
Foldable.
Even collectors can have the curtain. I was thinking more about like the MDF, the lamp posts, double trees. That is something that disappear, and she's not afraid of. Most of some things she has to do as an artwork and then undo it as well. So that's fun.
Also, I remember now that you were talking about architecture and stuff. The Gordon Martha Clark. I don't.
Yes.
I should research more about him, but he was also like getting a wall and turning. This was fantastic work.
Yeah,
But
cutting big pieces of a building. Oh, oh, yes.
Yes. He was also part of the exhibition, and he's also son of a Chilean artist, of
really,
Roberto Mata. Yes. And
I didn't
Roberto
know
Mata
that.
was a surreal artist. So he came like with a lot with surreal background. They were both
Makes sense.
architects. And then he said, I will break all this down.
Freud would explain this.
Yeah.
Very
done,
good, Marian,
girls.
the day today. This
We learned a lot.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
beautiful
Thank you.
artists.